We are now going to look at how do you value donations and some administrative rules, such as who is liable for paying the donations tax and when it should be paid. So first up, section 62 tells us how do we determine the value of the donation. Now, the value of the donation is deemed to be the market value of the property on the date that the donation takes place. Now, what is the date that the donation takes place? We'll see that in a short while. Right, so guys, what is the value? The market value. Now, I want you to see that there are also, when you look at the definition of property, it said rights to property as well is included. So what is a right to property? So what I want you to see is we get things like called a usufruct and a bare dominium. Right. Those things you can also donate. This is discussed a little bit later on in the notes. I'm just making this comment to you guys now because it is discussed in section 62. But in terms of your ITC exam pronouncement, they will provide you with the amounts and what the value of it is. Just as a quick little discussion, I'm just going to discuss it here. If this is, I always try and draw this. If this is a pen, right? The pen in your hand, if you look at your pen, let's say it is worth 5 rands, that's its market value, right? That pen, all assets, can comprise of 2 parts. It comprises of a usufruct part of it and a bare dominium part of it. The usufruct is the right to use it. So, I tell you, here is the pen. I am the owner, but you can use it. So you can use it, you can write something with it, and if you make money with the things that you've written, you can take the money. So what I'm trying to say is you can use the asset, and if you use the asset and you make money, that money is yours. The bare dominium is the right to ownership. So if I give you the usufruct, I still have the bare dominium. That means you can use it, I can't, because you've got the right to use it. But you can't sell it. I can, because I've got the right to ownership. So if I sell it and there's money that comes from the ownership, I can take it. Now, this 5 rands, it basically will work like this. The usufruct will be worth 2 rands, and the bare dominium will be worth 3 rands and 2 rands. So together it's 5 rands. So if I tell you the market value is 5 rands, and you've got a usufruct of 3 rands, then you know the bare dominium is 2 rands. Okay, I don't want you guys to spend too much time on that. You will see it in some of your lecture examples there, but like I mentioned to you guys also, they will give you the amounts. What is the date that the donation takes place? And when must it be paid? So remember we said, you look at the market value on the date that the donation takes place. Now think of something like shares. The value of shares listed on the stock exchange change every day. I can donate shares to you, it is property, but the value of it changes every day. So we need to know what date it takes place. So they say the donation takes place on the date when all the legal formalities have been complied with. So basically the legal formalities in terms of our South African laws. So they say if it's a written donation, so I write on a piece of paper, I'm donating this to you, then it's the date when both parties have signed. The donor, the person making the donation, and the donee, the person receiving it. So the last signature date. An oral donation is where I say to you, listen, I am donating this thing to you. Then the donation is only deemed to take place when you collect the property. The reason for this is, if I make a donation to you today and I die tomorrow but you haven't collected it yet, then there's been no donation that's taken place. Okay, there's no written documentation to prove it for us, for example. So that's why that's the rule. Now, you need to then pay the donations tax to SARS. The donations tax is paid to SARS at the end of the month following the date on which the donation took place. So, if the donation took place on the 15th of March, next month, March, April, end of April. If the donation took place on the 29th of March, same thing. If it took place on the 31st of March, same thing. You always just go to the next month, the last date. Who is responsible for it? Per section 59, the donor, so the person making the donation, is responsible for it. However, section 59 also says that if the donor does not pay the donations tax on time, then both the donor and the donee become liable for it, separately and jointly. So it means SARS can either go to both of you and say pay, or to one of you and say you must pay. Okay, that might seem a bit crazy, but remember there's an asset involved which can potentially be sold if it has to. Right, guys, then a couple of general things I want to discuss here. First one, section 62, very important. When you do donations tax calculations, you must calculate it separately for each donation made. So what I mean is, let's say you had 3 donations during the year, right? And just for now, assume that the value of the donation was 100,000, well, 100,000, 50,000, and 60,000. Okay, now, if you add all of that up, it is 210,000. So now, guys, just assume for now, just ignore any exemptions. How you must do it is you can't say 210,000 times 20% is, you can't do that. You must go for each of these donations at a time and calculate it. And you'll see also in your solutions that's how it looks. The reason for this is because, first of all, if there's exemptions, you need to apply it in the order that they happen. You can't just say 210 minus 100,000. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is, if these things happen on different dates, then the date of the donation's tax that must be paid is also different. So that is basically the practical reasons why it happens. But please understand, the Act also requires us to do this. They tell you that if the donation took place at the same time, then the donor must determine the order in which it takes place. Per section 63. We can now look at the donations tax rate, which is discussed in section 64. The donations tax rate in general is 20%, which is the same as the state duty value or rate. But very recently, the Act has been amended that it now also includes a 25% donations tax rate. Now, basically how this works is they will look at your total donations that you've made. Once across your life, once that has exceeded 30 million rands, so it goes up to 30 million, the moment it goes over 30 million, that donations tax from those point onwards will be at 25%. Now, it's important to note here, they look at your lifetime for this, so they don't say in year 1 you have to donate more than 30 million rands. So it's just a very rough example, but just to show you what I mean. So let's say in year 1 you made a donation to your spouse, a donation to your child. Let's say this is the value. This is the exemption or exclusion, if there is any. This is the net value. And then this is the donations tax. Right, at 20% or at 25%. Okay, so let's say we're looking at someone that's very wealthy, and this taxpayer donates, let's say, 20 million rands to spouse. The 20 million will be fully exempt because it's a donation to a spouse. So the net value is null, and there's obviously no donations tax. Okay, sorry, my alignment's a bit off there. Then let's say they made a donation to their child of 25 million rands. Now, you will get 100,000 rands exemption, an annual exemption. The net donation is then the 25 million minus the 100,000. So that's 24,900,000. Right. The donations tax is calculated at this point at 20% of that amount. Why? Because the total has not yet reached 30 million. Okay, so now what I want you to just see is, this is just now for year 1, so I'm going to show you now in year 2 we're going to reach the threshold. Before I do so, just an important concept also for you to see here. There's a value here. This is the total value of donations that were made, and this value is 45 million rands. And then we have this net value here, so that's after the exemptions, and this value is 24,900,000. When we are just looking at this 30 million rands, we will look at the net value total, so that's 24.9 million rands. We don't look at the total value over here. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, so now let's see. So now let's say in year 2, we're going to do something just very similar. Obviously, guys, it's just an explanation of how it works. We know now that if you make a donation to your spouse, that there's no donations tax, right? So that's the same, so I'm not going to do that again. Let's now say they make another donation to the child, and this value is 25 million again, right, which was my parents. Then there's another 100,000 exemption, and that gives us 24, sorry, there's no bracket there, 24.9 million rands. Okay, now, in year 1, so this is now a lifetime, so this could have now been across a number of years, but so just understand, we look at everything we've done so far. We've had a total of 24.9 million. Now the threshold is 30 million. So we've already taken into account 24.9 million. It means that we have 5.1 million left. So this 24.9 million that we see over here, if we break it down like this, 5.1 million of that will be at 20%. Right, and then 24.9 minus 5.1, so this just gives us the remaining balance of that is 19.8 million. That 19.8 million will be at 25%, because that in total, so if we take what we had in the past plus that gives us 30 million. So the first 30 million is at 20%. Everything after that is at 25%. So if now in year 3 there's another donation to the child, right, it's just for the example, guys, and let's say this one is 500,000. There's 100,000 rands exemption for that year, leaves us with 400,000. From this point onwards, because we've already reached that 30 million over there, everything will be at 25%. And that's it for the donations tax rate. So please be aware of it, guys. They will typically tell you in a question, they will give you some indication usually and say the taxpayer in the past made 20 million rands or in donations tax, or the taxpayer has made no donations in the past, or they'll give you some indication, something that will indicate to you whether or not that 30 million has been reached. If they don't, obviously just look at the value of the donations so that you don't have a situation like what we have here in year 2 or year 1 and year 2 where we've reached the 30 million. You might have to do the calculation yourself, but just be aware of it.